Moving away from the trend of launching in China first and India later, on the 23rd of April, Xiaomi launched the Mi 4i here in India. So, is this to the Mi 4 what the iPhone 5C was to the iPhone 5? How good is it really? Is it a flagship? Well, let's find out. But before we do, if this is your first time here or in case you've plain old forgotten, my name's Ash, this is C4E Tech, and you're watching my review of Xiaomi's new flagship for India, the Mi 4i. Let's get started. As always, let's start with the build. To the front, on top, we have the sensors, earpiece, 5-megapixel front-facing camera and a notification LED. Lower below, a 5-inch display and 3 backlit capacitive keys at the bottom. To the back, we have a 13-megapixel rear camera flanked by the dual-tone LED flash and the secondary noise-cancelling microphone, and at the bottom, we have the Mi branding and a speaker. Up top, we have a 3.5mm headphone jack, the power button and the volume rockers to the right, USB OTG enabled micro USB port and the primary microphone down below, and a dual SIM card slot to the left. It's worth noting that both slots support 4G. Xiaomi's decision to go with an all polycarbonate build for the Mi 4i doesn't feel like a bad thing. The Mi 4i in fact feels well built. It's even slimmer and lighter than the Mi 4 and feels nice to use single-handed. The 5-inch Full HD IPS display gives the Mi 4i a pixel density of 441 pixels per inch. Just like with the Mi 4, the Mi 4i uses Corning Contour glass for protection. Everything appears crisp, viewing angles are great, the blacks are deep, contrast good, a stellar display overall. It's pretty bright too, meaning sunlight legibility is great, especially given that Xiaomi is using something called sunlight display technology here, which boosts the areas of the screen when under bright lights to make it even more legible. Good stuff from Xiaomi. Now let's talk about what's underneath. And here's where things get interesting. The Mi 4i is powered by a Snapdragon 615 chip. That's two sets of Cortex A53 cores, with the first set clocked at 1.7 GHz each and the other at 1.1 GHz each. These are coupled with an Adreno 405 GPU and 2 GB of RAM. Now the 615 is prone to overheating issues. With the Mi 4i, Xiaomi claimed to have fixed these issues by working closely with Qualcomm, and the Mi 4i is in fact utilizing a 2nd Gen 615. Sadly though, these claims turned out to be not too accurate. In my time with the Mi 4i, it did overheat. And I'm not a guy who usually talks about heating. Xiaomi did send me a replacement and that did fare better, but that begs the question, why are we still seeing reports of overheating from reviewers and end users alike? Xiaomi seems to have some quality control issues here with the Mi 4i and hope that future batches don't have the same issue. Anyway, moving on, call quality was great, audio via the earphones was good and the internal speakers quite loud. On the battery front, the Mi 4i packs a 3120 mAh non-user replaceable battery and the battery life was good. On a looping video playback test, the Mi 4i lasted about 9 hours before running out of juice. Well, yes, that's not as good as on the Mi 4, it's still better than most phones in this price range. The Mi 4i had no issues getting me through a day of moderate to heavy usage on a single charge on any of the 8 days that I used it as my daily driver. So again, let's move on and talk about the camera now. The 13-megapixel rear camera on the Mi 4i performs well. Images shot with it retain a good level of detail, colors are accurate, it didn't exhibit any issues with white balance or exposure, the shutter speed's fast enough as well. I actually uploaded a detailed camera review and I'll leave a link to that video in the description along with a card here in this video. Do check it out for a more in-depth look at the camera. 1080p video performance though leaves a lot to be desired. Not too smooth, the video looks soft at times, not great quality. The 5-megapixel front camera is great for selfies. The f1.880-degree wide-angle lens also helps get a lot more into the shot. As far as the UI is concerned, it's the same MIUI camera interface that we are used to. Packs in a lot of features without overwhelming a new user, no issues here. Now let's talk about MIUI itself. The Mi 4i is the first time we are seeing MIUI 6 on Lollipop, but barring the Lollipop Easter egg, there's not a lot different here. There's no app drawer, all your apps go onto the home screen. MIUI handles home screen management better than any other UI. A quick note, the uninstall animation's missing for some reason. Anyway, what sets MIUI apart from the rest is the ability to customize. The Themes app lets you change almost every aspect of the interface. Digging into the settings menus gives you granular control over how MIUI works on your phone. Like for example, you can control what apps can and cannot send you floating notifications, or you can change the recent apps key into a menu key and so on. The security app again gives you a lot more control. There's a lot of customization baked in here. MIUI 6 on the Mi4i works well, for the most part. There are random stutters and lags, but then again, that's how it is with Xiaomi. I mean, go back and watch my Mi 4 review and my Mi 4 second review 6 months later, and you'll see how the performance is improved. I respect Xiaomi a lot for the kind of support they provide for their devices. Well, yes, they do get flack for taking their sweet time to update Android versions, but MIUI is such a heavy interface that just like with Lollipop here on the Mi 4i, you don't often even notice an Android version change. The Mi 4i works well for the most part, and given Xiaomi's track record, I do expect things to only improve from here on. So that brings us to the question on if you should buy a Mi 4i. The answer isn't quite as straightforward as I'd like it to be. If you're willing to put your trust into Xiaomi to fix the overheating and UI issues and can live with 11 gigs of non-expandable internal storage, 11-12 gigs, then yeah, the Mi 4i at 13,000 rupees should be a decent buy. If you are someone watching this video to see if you should choose the Mi 4i over the Mi 4 or the OnePlus One, or even if you're thinking of upgrading from the Mi 3, then hell no. This is not a flagship, nowhere close. The Mi 4i is a pretty decent mid-ranger that, like most Xiaomi devices, punches well above its weight. But that's what it is, it's a mid-ranger. It does have its weaknesses, but then again, what phone doesn't? So, there you have it, my 2 cents on the Mi 4i. What do you think? Do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So, guys, till this point, I've been very objective, kept my feelings about the Mi 4i, my personal feelings out of the video, but I really don't think I'll be doing right by you guys if I don't talk about this. I personally am pissed that Xiaomi thought they could get away by calling this a flagship. Not just a flagship, mind you, but a flagship for India. And I take offense at that. Yes, India is a price-sensitive market, but this kind of marketing BS is something I'd expect from, say, Samsung, and was honestly surprised to see it from Xiaomi. I mean, if Xiaomi genuinely felt that this was a flagship, they'd have called it the Mi 5. Because yes, it's not all about the specs, it's about user experience. Say for example, the G Flex 2 has a Snapdragon 810 chip. The G4 has only a Snapdragon 808. But the G4 is the flagship, and I can see that. That really isn't the case with the Mi 4i. To me, any kind of this is enough for India kind of mentality just irks me a lot, and I'm pretty sure it irks you too. I mean, wasn't this the reason that we were all so annoyed when Samsung sold Exynos in India and Snapdragon everywhere else? Anyway, I'm not as pissed as I am disappointed. As a Mi fan, I'm just sad to see this underhanded marketing attempt from Xiaomi. Maybe saying this screws up my relationship with the brand, maybe I don't get invited to launches anymore. But if that's the case, so be it. I can't with a clear conscience shoot this video without saying what I just said. So, coming back, I guess that's it for this video. Hope you guys liked it. If you did, please do give this video a thumbs up. If you didn't, vote it down. Do let me know what you didn't like so that I can work on it. I can improve and maybe someday turn that thumbs down into a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. So I guess that's it. Thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, this is Ash here from C4E Tech signing off. You guys have a great day. Bye bye now.